Chapter 1712. Valley Master Yunlong waved his sword and 3 real dragons appeared. Each of them was extremely terrifying as they charged towards the sect master of the Sky God sect. The sect master of the Sky God sect looked solemn as he circulated his dharma, and fought with Valley Master Yunlong. Dragon roars could be heard as long spears pierced through the air. The battle was getting more and more intense. What was shocking was that after 10 moves, the sect master of the Sky God sect was at a disadvantage. This left everyone dumbfounded. "You coming too?" Valley Master Yunlong's voice could be heard from the endless sword radiance. A real dragon roared and pounced towards the sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect. Valley Master Yunlong wanted to fight the sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect and the sect master of the Sky God sect at the same time. "As you wish." The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect said coldly. Demonic light shot up into the sky and covered half of the sky with demonic light. She waved her hands and endless black demonic lotuses appeared and charged towards Valley Master Yunlong. 9 Cloud Dragon Manifestations. Valley Master Yunlong's voice could be heard again as 9 real dragons appeared. Each of these real dragons was formed by endless sword radiance. They were extremely terrifying and each of them had earth-shattering power. The 3 experts fought crazily, and it was hard to determine the winner. Many people gasped. Valley Master Yunlong was too powerful. He was fighting 2 sect masters alone, and it was hard to determine the winner. How many people in that Song state had such combat strength? Among everyone, Yin Zheng's face was the worst. He clenched his fists tightly and his body trembled. His face was pale and his eyes were filled with disbelief. He had never imagined that the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had already reached such a level. From the looks of it, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had not used much of his strength when they fought previously. Otherwise, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master would have been able to kill him with a single strike. Damn it! This guy has kept a low profile for so many years, and his strength has reached such a terrifying level. Yin Zheng roared in his heart. The experts of the Sky Universe Demon sect and the Sky God sect were also shocked. Lu Ming was also shocked. Although he had guessed that Valley Master Yunlong might be an absolute saint expert, Valley Master Yunlong's strength was still beyond his imagination. The battle continued. The 3 of them fought high up in the sky. Only endless light could be seen flashing, but the 3 of them could not be seen at all. After fighting intensely for a while, a terrifying explosion rang out. The light dissipated, and 3 figures appeared. The sect masters of the Heavenly God sect and the Sky Universe Demon sect stood side by side. Their expressions were extremely gloomy. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master wielded a long sword, his battle intent soaring to the heavens. At this moment, the Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley was no longer that gentle old man. Instead, he was a powerful being who dominated the world. His sword shone with a chilling light. "If I want to kill someone, none of you can stop me," the Cloud Dragon Valley Master said confidently. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect had the worst expression. If he gave the order to deal with the family members of the Dragon God Valley's disciples, then the Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley could slaughter the other disciples of the Celestial God sect. They could not stop him. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master was too strong. Rumble. At this moment, another intense rumbling sound came from the distant sky. A huge warship quickly flew over and stopped not too far away. Then a large number of figures flew out from the warship. Every single one of them was dressed in green robes, and a poisonous aura emanated from their bodies. The sect masters of the Sky Universe Demon sect and the Heavenly God sect were overjoyed. The experts of the Desire Poison sect had arrived. The person leading the Desire Poison sect was an old man. He was the sect master of the Desire Poison sect. "Today is really lively." The Desire Poison sect master stepped forward and stood together with the sect masters of the Sky Universe Demon sect and the Sky God sect. "You guys have gone too far." The Ice Dragon Valley Master stepped forward and appeared beside the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. A terrifying aura erupted from him. He was also an absolute saint. The 5 absolute saints faced each other in the sky. Their auras were extremely oppressive. Everyone looked on nervously. The sect masters of the Heavenly God sect and the other sects seemed to be discussing telepathically. After a while, the sect master of the heavenly god sect said, "You can protect Lu Ming for now, but you can't protect him forever. Disciples of the heavenly god sect, listen up. Retreat 100 miles and set up camp. Once Lu Ming comes out, or the other disciples of the Dragon God Valley, take him down." Yes, the experts of the heavenly god sect obeyed. Disciples of the Sky Universe Demon sect, listen up. Retreat 100 miles and set up camp. Disciples of the Desire Poison sect, listen up. The sect masters of the Sky Universe Demon sect and the Desire Poison sect ordered the experts of the two sects to retreat 100 miles and surround the Dragon God Valley. The experts of the three sects retreated slowly. Then the sect masters of the three sects glanced coldly at Lu Ming and retreated as well. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the Ice Dragon Valley Master looked at each other. Both of them looked worried. Disciples of the Dragon God Valley, listen up. Send experts to set up camp around the Dragon God Valley to prevent any sneak attacks. The Ice Dragon Valley Master ordered. Ming, go back. Don't think too much about this. They can't do anything to you. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master appeared beside Lu Ming and said gently, "Yes, Master." Lu Ming nodded and walked toward the Cloud Space Valley. However, he clenched his fists tightly and a cold light flashed in his eyes. This situation was difficult to break out of. Even if he handed over the Tsang Thearka's storage ring, the Heavenly Divine Sect and the other sects wouldn't let it go. It was rumored that he had obtained the Tsang Thearka's inheritance. But in fact, he didn't have it at all. There was no way he could hand it over. This must have been news from the Evil Spirit Sect. The Evil Spirit Sect knew that Lu Ming didn't have the inheritance and couldn't hand it over. Therefore, the sects of the Tsang state were bound to clash. Even if Lu Ming went to explain, no one would believe him. "I'm still too weak. I must enter the sage state as soon as possible." Lu Ming's eyes were determined. However, entering the sage state was a huge hurdle. If he didn't have enough experience, it would be too difficult to cross it in a short time. After returning to the Cloud Space Valley, Lu Ming fell into deep thought. "I have to give it a try," Lu Ming muttered. He thought of a way to enter the sage state in a short time. That was to fuse the main body and the second body into one, and then fuse them back into one. The Twin Life Forbidden Art mentioned that the main body and the second body could be merged again. But once merged, it would be impossible to cultivate the second body in the future. This was a great loss. With the second body, he could do many things. Moreover, the second body was like having an extra life. If the main body was killed, he could still survive in the second body. But now, if he wanted to enter the sage state in a short time, he had to merge the main body and the second body. With the accumulation of the main body and the second body, the merging of the two was enough to break through to the sage state. In the current situation, if he didn't have the cultivation of the sage state, it would be difficult to protect himself. If he reached the sage state, his combat strength would skyrocket. Let's do it. Chapter 17:13. Lu Ming's main body and second body cast the Twin Life Forbidden Art at the same time. Their bodies glowed as if they were resonating with each other. Slowly, the bodies of the main body and the second body merged together. It was as if the two bodies were overlapping. Of course, the process was slow and couldn't be completed in one go. It needed time, because it wasn't just the physical body that was fused. It also involved the soul and cultivation. It was very complicated. Time passed day by day. Outside the Dragon God Valley, the Heavenly Divine Sect, Empyrean Demon Sect and Desire Poison Sect were stationed there. They surrounded the Dragon God Valley, preventing the disciples of the Dragon God Valley from entering or leaving. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. The three sects were still stationed outside the Dragon God Valley. They had no intention of leaving. At the same time, the atmosphere in the Dragon God Valley was getting more and more tense. With the three sects blocking the exit, would the people of the Dragon God Valley be trapped for the rest of their lives? At this moment, a voice was heard in the Dragon God Valley, calling for Lu Ming to be handed over. Lu Ming is selfish. He obtained Emperor Tsang's inheritance and treasures, and kept them for himself. In the end, he wants others to pay for him? There are so many people in the Dragon God Valley. How can we be implicated by Lu Ming? He obtained benefits and now he wants others to die with him. He hid and didn't show himself. Why is he implicating the entire Dragon God Valley? Hand over Lu Ming and the Dragon God Valley will be safe again. Such voices were getting louder and louder. Many people slowly shifted their anger to Lu Ming. They felt that Lu Ming was selfish. He had benefited from it, and when something happened in the end, he went into hiding and asked others to foot the bill for him. On what basis? Lu Ming, let's see how long you can hide. Silver Dragon Valley Master Yin Zheng sneered. This kind of voice was naturally spread by Yin Zheng's men in secret. Slowly, the other disciples of the Dragon God Valley were incited. They surrounded the Cloud Dragon Valley and demanded Lu Ming to be handed over. Get out of my sight. At the entrance of the Cloud Dragon Valley, Yang Tianzong's aura was so strong that everyone was shocked. Tian Chui, Xuaningxin and the others stood beside Yang Tianzong, blocking the entrance of the Cloud Dragon Valley. What are you doing? Were they going to bully the other disciples of the Dragon Valley just because they were stronger? Although the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's cultivation is strong, he can't be lawless, right? That's right. Is Valley Master Yinlong going to use his cultivation to protect his own disciple and disregard the lives of the other disciples of the Divine Dragon Valley? Kill all the other disciples of the Dragon Valley if you can. Icy voices could be heard from the crowd. If you have the guts, come out and speak. Yang Tianzong's eyes were like lightning as he scanned the crowd. Those who were caught by his gaze shuddered. Humph, although the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's cultivation is powerful, there are so many of us. We may not be afraid of you. That voice came from the crowd again. Sowing dissension, you deserve to die. Yang Tianzong shouted. Suddenly, his body flashed and he leaped into the crowd. Following which, two blood-curdling screams rang out as two figures flew out of the crowd and crashed heavily onto the ground. They were two young men in silver robes, and one of them was Yin Zisong. As expected, it's your Silver Dragon Valley that's trying to sow discord. You guys have ulterior motives and deserve death. Tian Chui shouted. What are you doing? Is Cloud Dragon Valley rebelling? First, you covered up for Lu Ming. Now you can't even talk about it. If you do, you'll kill them. Does Divine Dragon Valley belong to Cloud Dragon Valley now? Yin Zisong yelled. How dare you try to sow discord? I'll cripple you. Yang Tianzong's eyes were cold as he walked towards Yin Zisong. Stop. A loud roar was heard as the Valley Master of Silver Dragon Valley, Yin Zheng, stepped into the air and said coldly, Don't go overboard. They're just saying something fair. What bullshit fair? I think you're the one who said it, you old dog. You're trying to kill my junior brother Lu Ming. Tian Chui scolded. How dare you? How dare you? Yin Zheng shouted. Humph, don't take advantage of your seniority. If you have the guts, be arrogant in front of my master. I've already sent a message to my master and he'll be here soon. Yang Tianzong said. Yin Zheng's expression changed drastically. Fear flashed in his eyes as he said, It seems that your Cloud Dragon Valley is oppressing others with force and completely disregards the other Dragon Valleys. I reckon that in your heart, the weight of all the other Dragon Valleys added together is not as important as your Cloud Dragon Valley, right? If that's the case, I have nothing to say. Kill the people of Silver Dragon Valley if you want to. Having said that, Yin Zheng waved his sleeves and left the place. The other Dragon Valley disciples' faces darkened. That old man is extremely cunning. He deserves to be killed. Xuaningxin gritted her teeth. Yin Zheng's words were to sow discord between the other Dragon Valleys and Cloud Dragon Valley. He wanted to use the other Dragon Valleys to force Cloud Dragon Valley to hand over Lu Ming. Under such circumstances, they could not kill Yin Zisong and the others. Otherwise, there would be internal strife in Divine Dragon Valley. Get lost. Yang Tianzong threw Yin Zisong and Xuaningxin out. The conflict in Divine Dragon Valley was getting worse. Lu Ming was still in seclusion in the mountain river diagram. After 3 months, the bodies of Lu Ming's main body and second body had completely merged into one, and they had become one. Boom. At this moment, a loud boom came from Lu Ming's body. His soul had also merged into one at this moment. The merging of the two souls caused Lu Ming's soul power to skyrocket. It was not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Instead, it was several times stronger. Saint Heart condense. When Lu Ming's soul merged into one, Lu Ming felt that it was time to break through to the Saint realm. He roared and the power of the laws flowed. He began to use the power of the laws to refine his true origin and condense his Saint Heart. Strangely, there were two types of laws flowing on Lu Ming's body. The law of primal chaos and the law of array flowed without interfering with each other. One refined the true origin while the other refined the spiritual fire. In Lu Ming's mind, the bright spiritual fire gathered into a ball and rushed toward Lu Ming's dantian. Finally, the spiritual fire entered Lu Ming's dantian and floated near the spiritual god. Then it began to tumble. Under the effect of the law of array, it began to transform into a Saint Heart. At the same time, the spiritual god began to change. In the spiritual god, there was an illusory figure that slowly separated from the spiritual god. It could be seen that this illusory figure looked exactly like the spiritual god and Lu Ming. This was Lu Ming's soul. Before reaching the Saint realm, a person's soul did not have a physical body. In other words, it did not have a soul at all. It only had spiritual will. However, after a martial artist broke through to the spiritual god realm, his spiritual will would merge with the spiritual god and begin to nurture his soul. In fact, the biggest use of the spiritual god was to nurture one's soul. This was very similar to the spiritual fire. The spiritual fire also had the effect of nurturing one's soul. Chapter 17:14. As one's cultivation increased, one's soul would become stronger and stronger. It was said that when one reached a certain level, even if one's physical body was destroyed, one's soul would still exist in the world. One could even use the energy of heaven and earth to condense a physical body at any time. At this level, one would truly reach the realm of immortality and indestructibility. As long as one's soul was not destroyed, one would not die. However, Lu Ming still had a long way to go before he could reach this realm. As he had just broken through to the Saint realm, his soul had just taken shape. It could not even leave his body as it would be torn apart by the energy of heaven and earth. The soul was completely different from the spiritual deity. The spiritual deity was actually condensed from true essence. However, the soul was not. It was nurtured by Lu Ming's spiritual will. It was extremely mysterious and had something to do with the mystery of immortality. Slowly, the soul left the spiritual deity and turned into a beam of light. It rushed into Lu Ming's sea of consciousness and sat down cross-legged in it. After the soul left the spiritual deity began to transform into a sacred heart under the effect of the primal chaos law. The sacred heart used the law as its core and sacred energy as its foundation. In the future, as the law became stronger, the sacred heart could evolve into a small world. Time passed slowly. In the blink of an eye, another half a month had passed. Two sacred hearts appeared in Lu Ming's dantian. One of them was filled with primal chaos chi, as if it was nurturing a universe. As for the other one, it was covered with strange runes. When one looked at it, one would feel as if they would sink into it and be unable to extricate themselves. I actually have two sacred hearts. Lu Ming himself was dumbfounded. As far as he knew, other people, regardless of whether they cultivated the inscription Tao or the martial Tao, only had one sacred heart. This was because a person could only comprehend one law at the half-saint realm. In fact, a person could only comprehend one law at the martial sage realm. Only when one reached the martial emperor realm would one be able to comprehend multiple laws. As for the sacred heart, it was condensed from the law as the foundation. As Lu Ming cultivated the twin life restriction, his main body and second body each comprehended a law. Thus, after they merged, he cultivated two sacred hearts. The two saint hearts were like twins, revolving around each other and spinning nonstop. Then won't I be able to cultivate two small worlds in the future? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. At this moment, Lu Ming felt a gust of wind blowing around him. Endless smoke suddenly appeared and enveloped Lu Ming. At this moment, Lu Ming felt as if he had entered a strange place. Even the environment around him had changed. This is the inner demon tribulation of the saint realm. Lu Ming's expression changed. Of course, there was also a great tribulation when breaking through to the saint realm. However, the great tribulation of the saint realm was not the same as before. It was not the thunder tribulation, but the inner demon tribulation. The inner demon tribulation was even more terrifying than the thunder tribulation. Everyone had their own inner demons. If they couldn't overcome the inner demon tribulation, they would vanish into thin air under the inner demon tribulation. Since ancient times, countless geniuses had failed to overcome the inner demon tribulation and died under it. However, Lu Ming had gone through 9 lifetimes in the reincarnation emperor's tomb in the 100 Tribes battlefield. His mind was firm and refined. The tribulation of the inner demon could not affect him at all. In just half a day, Lu Ming had successfully overcome the inner demon tribulation. When Lu Ming transcended the mental demon tribulation, there was a mysterious force in heaven and earth that surged into Lu Ming's body. This was within the mountain-river diagram, but this force directly passed through the mountain-river diagram. At this moment, the spiritual energy and vital essence in Lu Ming's body began to change qualitatively and began to transform into saint power. Who then in the mountain and river diagram, endless origin chi gathered toward Lu Ming's body. Origin stones, I need a lot of origin stones. Lu Ming's mind stirred and piles of primordial stones appeared. They exploded one after another, turning into extremely rich primordial chi that surged into Lu Ming's body. It was constantly refined into wisps of sacred power. There was more and more saint power in Lu Ming's body. Not long after, the original mental strength and vital essence had been completely transformed into saint power. However, the absorption of primordial chi did not stop. Primordial chi was constantly being absorbed and transformed into saint power. Lu Ming had 2 saint hearts. The saint power produced by the 2 saint hearts was too strong. At the same time, he needed more origin stones. Lu Ming did not know how many origin stones he had devoured. There were at least billions of mid-grade origin stones. At this moment, the saint power in Lu Ming's body reached a state of saturation. The saint realm. Lu Ming had finally entered the saint realm and become a saint. Although he was only at the initial bright saint realm, it was a qualitative change from before. It was on a completely different level. Is this saint power? It's so powerful. Lu Ming carefully sensed the boundless sacred power in his body. He felt that it was filled with boundless power. It was many times stronger than before. Saint power was much stronger than vital essence. With the same amount, saint power was at least 10 times stronger than vital essence. This was a qualitative change. It was no wonder that the saint realm was so powerful. If one was not a saint, it was almost impossible to cross realms and kill a saint. Unless one was like Lu Ming, with extremely powerful laws and spiritual bodies, they could do it. Otherwise, once the saint power was unleashed, vital essence would not be able to withstand it. Also, what level has my soul power reached? Lu Ming carefully felt the soul in his sea of consciousness. He felt that his soul power had increased by dozens of times compared to before. He had a feeling that if he used the divine sword art now, he could easily tear apart the soul of a great bright saint realm, or even a peak bright saint realm expert. With this upgrade, Lu Ming's combat ability had undergone a huge change. He had achieved a qualitative breakthrough. If Lu Ming had broken through normally, there would not have been such a huge improvement. The main thing was that his main body had merged with his second body. Not only had his soul power increased, but he had also cultivated 2 saint hearts. Therefore, Lu Ming could not estimate it. Perhaps this is a blessing in disguise. There was a glint in Lu Ming's eyes. Now that I have broken through to the saint realm, I should be able to enter the Chaos Palace. Lu Ming's face was filled with anticipation. Previously, when he obtained the Chaos Scripture in the Chaos Palace, Tui had told him that if he wanted their help, he had to at least break through to the saint realm and become a saint. Now Lu Ming had broken through to the saint realm. Although 2E Gold E and the rest were puppets, their strength was unfathomable. If he could get their help, then it would not be difficult to solve the Dragon God Valley's siege. With a thought, the Chaos Token appeared in his hand. Then boundless saint power poured into the Chaos Token. Wang. The Chaos Token buzzed and emitted a dazzling glow. Then, a beam of light formed and shrouded Lu Ming. Lu Ming felt as though he was being carried by an irresistible force. It was as though he was shuttling through the void toward a certain place. After an unknown period of time, the space shook. Lu Ming found that he had arrived at a grand hall. He had finally returned to the Chaos Palace. In front of him, the space rippled and several figures appeared. It was 2E Gold E, and the rest. Young Lord. When 2E Gold E and the rest saw Lu Ming, they bowed to Lu Ming. Seniors, it's been a long time. Lu Ming returned the greeting. Young Lord has finally broken through to the Saint Realm. Chapter 17:15. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Back then, when he was still a spiritual god, he felt that 2E was unfathomable and unfathomable when he met him. Now that he saw him again, he still had the same feeling. However, Lu Ming was even happier. The stronger 2E and the others were, the more help they would be to him. Seniors, now that Lu Ming has broken through to the Saint Realm, can you go out and help Lu Ming? Lu Ming asked. 2E Gold E, and the others looked at each other. Then 2E shook his head and said, Young Master, we could in the past, but I'm afraid we can't now. Why not? Lu Ming's expression changed. Because you're not the only young master of the Primal Chaos Palace. 2E sighed. I'm not the only one? What does that mean? Lu Ming was puzzled. Could it be that there was another person who met the requirements after Lu Ming and passed the test? However, the Primal Chaos scripture had already been passed down to Lu Ming. Even if someone came later, they shouldn't be able to obtain the Primal Chaos scripture, right? How did they become the young master of the Primal Chaos Palace? Young master, another person came after you. However, this person didn't come because he cultivated 5 different intents or domains, but because of his physique. This person's physique is the chaotic body. Gold E explained. Chaotic body. Lu Ming was shocked. The chaotic body was only a legendary physique. Could there really be such a physique in the world? It's really unbelievable. It's hard to find a chaotic body even after countless years. In fact, the Primal Chaos Emperor had the chaotic body back then, so the chaotic body was the most suitable to inherit the Primal Chaos Emperor's legacy. However, because the Primal Chaos scripture had already been obtained by the young master, the chaotic body didn't obtain the Primal Chaos scripture. However, this person has the chaotic body. It's hard to find one even after countless years. He's too compatible with the Primal Chaos Emperor back then. Since he came here, all of us discussed and made him one of the young masters of the Primal Chaos Palace. Therefore, only one of you can truly control the Primal Chaos Palace in the future. 2E explained. In that case, I'll have to compete with the chaotic body in the future, and the winner will be able to control the Primal Chaos Palace? Lu Ming said. That's right. Only the victor between the two of you will be able to truly control Primal Chaos Palace. Therefore, before the victor is decided, we will not leave with either of you nor will we help either of you. Du Yi Dao. Lu Ming felt helpless. He didn't expect to encounter such a situation. He knew that the chaotic body was the same as the Chaos Emperor's constitution. It was most suitable for inheriting the Chaos Emperor and controlling the Chaos Hall. If Lu Ming had not arrived first and obtained the Chaos Scripture, 2E and the others would have definitely chosen the chaotic body. Young master, let me warn you. The chaotic body's current cultivation is far greater than the young master's, and his battle prowess is greater. He's invincible among those at the same level. He hasn't obtained the chaotic scripture, but because he possesses the chaotic body, he has cultivated the laws of chaos. His objective is to steal the chaotic scripture from the young master. 2E reminded. 2E, don't cross the line. Our principle is not to help either side. Gold 1 reminded from the side. I'm just giving a casual reminder. I have no intention of helping. Alright, young master, I'll send you back now. I hope that the next one to come will still be the young master. 2E Dao smiled before waving his hand. A powerful force acted on Lu Ming's body, and Lu Ming disappeared from Primal Chaos Palace. 2E seemed to favor Lu Ming more? Gold 1's body was golden like a statue. His voice was cold and emotionless. No. 2E Dao shook his head and sighed. We have waited for countless years and finally, Lu Ming has inherited the ancestor's legacy. However, we never thought that another chaotic body would appear. I never thought that another chaotic body would appear after the ancestor. Such a heaven-defying constitution just has to appear at this moment. It looks like a great era is upon us. The two worlds of the Tianyuan world will probably usher in a golden age. That's right. Let's see what happens. If Lu Ming really encounters the chaotic body, he will probably be defeated. However, this child's fortune is so great that even you and I can't see through his fate. I'm afraid it won't be that simple. Let's just watch. Following Gold One's words, the hall fell silent. Lu Ming felt the world spin. Before long, he returned to the mountain river diagram. Chaotic body, huh? Lu Ming murmured as battle intent filled his eyes. This trip had indeed exceeded Lu Ming's expectations. He originally thought that he could ask Tuyi Dao and the others for help, but from the looks of it, he could only rely on himself. Then let's have a good battle, Lu Ming murmured before exiting the mountain river diagram. He walked out of the Cloud Dragon Valley. When Lu Ming arrived at the entrance of the Cloud Dragon Valley, he discovered a large number of people gathered there. Lu Ming has come out. Someone hollered. Everyone's gaze was on Lu Ming. He finally couldn't hold it in any longer and came out. He enjoyed the treasures alone, but he hid himself, leaving the danger to us so that we could take it for him. Why? He's selfish and doesn't care about the lives of the others in the Divine Dragon Valley. I've never seen such a shameless person. Ask him to hand over Emperor Tsong's inheritance and treasures to resolve the crisis of the Divine Dragon Valley. Someone in the crowd yelled, causing the crowd to be enraged. Trying to sow discord again. Yang Tianzong's eyes were sharp. Swoosh. At that instant, Lu Ming's figure suddenly dashed out and grabbed a young man in a silver robe by the neck and lifted him up. It's the Silver Dragon Valley again, trying to sow discord again. Die. Lu Ming's voice was cold. Lu Ming, what are you doing? Can't we talk about what you've done? If you're so capable, kill everyone in the Divine Dragon Valley. The disciple of the Silver Dragon Valley yelled. That's right, Lu Ming, let him go. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because of your cultivation. The other disciples of the Divine Dragon Valley yelled. Selfish person, I'll take you down now and hand you over to the Heavenly God sect. At that instant, a figure suddenly appeared behind Lu Ming and grabbed at Lu Ming's shoulder. It was a white-haired old man with a formidable cultivation. His hand was emitting a strong sacred aura and sacred force. He was an expert at the peak bright sacred realm. It was obvious that an elder of the Silver Dragon Valley had taken advantage of the crowd's anger to take Lu Ming down, so that the crowd could hand Lu Ming over to the Heavenly God sect. His hand was extremely quick as it approached Lu Ming at a shocking speed. He did not believe that Lu Ming could dodge it. Lu Ming's strength was strong as he had killed the God's Son at the treasure pedestal. However, the God's Son was only at the greater bright sacred realm, and he was at the peak of the bright sacred realm. Lu Ming would not be able to dodge the sudden attack. However, at the next moment his pupils suddenly constricted. This was because at this moment, Lu Ming suddenly turned around and looked at him with a sharp gaze. The next moment, he felt a tearing pain coming from the soul in his sea of consciousness. Bang! Chapter 17:16. Boom. The ground shook violently, and the entire Cloud Dragon Valley seemed to be shaking. The hard ice layer on the ground shattered, and the elder from Silver Dragon Valley created a large hole in the ground. He lay there and spat out mouthfuls of blood. His body twitched like a dead dog. At this moment, the entire place was silent. Everyone widened their eyes and looked at the scene in disbelief. Many people felt as if something was stuck in their throats. Their mouths squirmed but they couldn't say a word. This was because many people recognized that this old man was an extremely powerful elder of the Silver Dragon Valley. He was at the peak of the Bright Sage realm. However, he was like a dead dog in Lu Ming's hands, unable to withstand a single blow. Lu Ming, this was too perverted. Even Yang Tianzong, Tian Shui and the others were dumbfounded. Who else wants to fight? Lu Ming's eyes were like lightning as he looked around. Those who were looked at by Lu Ming were shocked and broke out in cold sweat. Lu Ming, you can only fight your own people here. Go fight the people from Heavenly Divinity Sect and Heavenly Universe Demon Sect if you can. A young man in a silver robe mustered up his courage and shouted. Lu Ming looked at him, and the young man shrank back. He avoided looking at Lu Ming and didn't dare to look at him. Looks like you're quite brave. All right, do you want to come with me? Lu Ming said coldly. The young man stammered. Shut up if you don't have the guts. Lu Ming hollered. He then soared into the air and flew out of the Divine Dragon Valley. Is Lu Ming really going to fight the people from Heavenly Divinity Sect, Heavenly Universe Demon Sect and Poison Sect? Let's go and take a look. The crowd followed Lu Ming out of Dragon Valley. Yang Tianzong, Tian Shui and the others looked at each other and followed. The entrance of the Dragon God Valley was guarded by many experts of the Dragon God Valley. The 7 Valley Masters of the Dragon God Valley were all here. Lu Ming attracted a lot of attention as soon as he arrived. Ming, you've made a breakthrough? The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley landed his gaze on Lu Ming. His eyes lit up and he was pleasantly surprised. Yes, Master. I just made a breakthrough. Lu Ming nodded. Good. You're indeed the one who killed the Divine Sun. Ice Dragon Valley Master walked over with a smile on his face. Master, Valley Master, I have a plan that might be able to stop the 3 sects. Afterward, Lu Ming transmitted his voice to the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the Ice Dragon Valley Master. Ming, are you confident? Upon hearing Lu Ming's words, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master revealed a shocked and worried expression. Ice Dragon Valley's Valley Master's eyes also flickered. Clearly he was shocked. Yes. Lu Ming's answer was firm. All right, then Master will protect you. Valley Master. Count me in. Ice Dragon Valley Master stroked his long beard and smiled. Many thanks, Master, Valley Master. Lu Ming bowed, and then strode out of the Divine Dragon Valley. He passed through the sect protecting array and walked in the air step by step. Lu Ming really went out. Many people were shocked. Yin Zheng's eyes were filled with pride. The Valley Masters are also out. Someone exclaimed. Right then, the Ice Dragon Valley Master and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master followed Lu Ming and moved forward. The moment Lu Ming left the Dragon God Valley, Heavenly God Sect, Sky Universe Demon Sect, and Desire Poison Sect saw him. Many experts flew towards Lu Ming and stopped not far away from Lu Ming. Both sides stood in the air. Lu Ming, you're finally out. Have you thought it through and decided to hand over Emperor Tsong's inheritance and treasures? Heavenly God Sect Master asked. Lu Ming smiled faintly and said, How about I make a bet with you? A bet? The sect masters of the Heavenly God Sect and Sky Universe God Sect were stunned. What kind of trick is this Lu Ming trying to play? But with so many of them here, Lu Ming can't play any tricks. What bet? How do you want to bet? Heavenly God Sect Master asked. Let's bet on Emperor Tsong's inheritance and treasures. I challenge the Bright Sage experts of your 3 sections. As long as you're in the Bright Sage realm, you can fight with me. If I lose, I'll hand over Emperor Tsong's inheritance and treasures. If you lose, you can go back to where you came from. How about it? Lu Ming said. That was his plan. The bet with the other party depended on whether they had the confidence to accept it or not. You really did obtain Emperor Tsong's inheritance and treasures. Sky Universe Demon Sect Master said, greed flashing in his eyes. Lu Ming smiled faintly. He knew that even if he denied it, the other party wouldn't let it go. Denying it was useless, so he might as well admit it and bet with them. Do you dare to bet or not? If you want to capture me and search my soul, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Before you capture me, I can kill myself. At that time, you won't get anything. Lu Ming said coldly. The Heavenly God Sect Master, Sky Universe Demon Sect Master, and Poison Desire Sect Master's eyes flickered. What do you think? The Heavenly God Sect Master transmitted his voice to the other 2. This brat proposed such a condition. I reckon he's already in the true sage realm. Sky Universe Demon Sect Master said. So what if he's in the true sage realm? Is he invincible in the bright sage realm, just because he's in the true sage realm? He's underestimating our 3 sects. Poison Desire Sect Master sneered. Although Lu Ming's combat strength was strong, the 3 sects had a long history, and they had accumulated many bright sage realm experts. Over the years, there were many people who had broken through to the true sage realm with Earth's spiritual bodies. Some of them had stayed in the great circle of the bright sage realm for a long time, and had even cultivated divine abilities. No matter how strong Lu Ming was, he had just broken through to the true sage realm. How could he be a match for these old monsters? The heavenly god sect master and the others also thought of this point. After discussing for a while, they nodded their heads. If they could easily obtain Emperor Tsong's inheritance and treasures, why not? All right, we agree. Heavenly god sect master said. All right, which one of you wants to fight? Lu Ming's body emitted a powerful battle intent. I'll do it. A skinny middle-aged man stepped out from the Poison Desire Sex area, exuding a powerful aura. Peak Bright Sage Realm. He came to Lu Ming's side and the two of them faced each other. At this time, the people of the Divine Dragon Valley were shocked. Lu Ming wanted to challenge all the Bright Sage experts of the three sections. How was this possible? It was unbelievable. Everyone's eyes widened as they watched. Boom. At this time, a shocking aura erupted from Lu Ming's body. Vast sage aura shot into the sky. Sage Realm. Lu Ming has broken through to the true Sage Realm. How terrifying. How long has it been since he broke through to the true Sage Realm? How could it be so fast? He was only in the second stage of the Half-Sage Realm at the Treasure Sorting Assembly a year ago. He only broke through to the third stage after the battle with the Divine Sun. How could he break through to the true Sage Realm so quickly? Many people were shocked and discussed among themselves. Could it be because of Emperor Tsong's treasures? Many people thought of this and their eyes burned with passion. Chapter 1717. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master, the Ice Valley Master, the Celestial God Sect Master, and the others all retreated to give Lu Ming enough space. Kill! The skinny middle-aged man from the Desire Poison sect hollered. With a single movement, he charged toward Lu Ming. With a wave of his hand, a stream of poisonous gas took the shape of a long spear and charged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's palm glowed, and the black dragon spear appeared. With a thrust, the spear gleam was dazzling, dissipating the long spear formed by the other party's poisonous gas. However, after the poisonous gas dissipated, dense poisonous insects appeared and charged toward Lu Ming. Destroy! Lu Ming roared and swept out with the black dragon spear. It became 10,000 feet long, and a terrifying force crushed all the poisonous insects into ashes. Shwa! Lu Ming took a step forward and instantly closed in on the skinny middle-aged man. The long spear stabbed out like lightning. It was unbelievably fast and exceeded the reaction of the naked eye. Pung! The skinny middle-aged man's body was pierced by the long spear and exploded. However, after the explosion, he turned into a cloud of poisonous gas that constantly churned. Lu Ming, your battle strength is very strong, but I also have a high-grade earth spiritual body. It's useless against me. The skinny middle-aged man's cold voice rang out from the poisonous gas. Without a doubt, this skinny middle-aged man was definitely a genius when he was young and had a very high-grade spiritual body. In fact, many people who could break through to the Saint Realm were very talented when they were young and their spiritual bodies wouldn't be low-grade. It was very difficult for ordinary spiritual bodies to break through to the Saint Realm, unless they had a heaven-defying opportunity. Those who could break through to the Saint Realm were usually Earth spiritual bodies and above. Of course, the higher the grade of the spiritual body, the higher the chances of breaking through. Thousand Poison Extermination. The skinny middle-aged man's voice rang out and endless poisonous gas surged towards Lu Ming. A foul stench rushed into Lu Ming's nose. This poisonous gas contained the law of poison, and was extremely terrifying. Just a strand of it could poison tens of thousands of creatures to death. It's not like I haven't killed a mere poisonous body before, Lu Ming said coldly. A huge chaotic flipping sky seal appeared in his hand. The primal chaos flipping sky seal was as large as a mountain, and it pressed down on the endless poisonous gas. Now that Lu Ming had broken through to the Saint Realm, his saint power was surging, and he could use the chaotic flipping sky seal at will. Before this breakthrough, if Lu Ming used the primal chaos flipping sky seal with all his strength, he would run out of quintessential essence. But now there was no such problem. Boom! As the primal chaos flipping sky seal pressed down, the poison continued to churn. The primal chaos law continued to erase the poison. What's going on? Damn it! The other party started to panic. The strong poison kept churning as he tried to escape. However, he had been completely locked down by the primal chaos sky seal. How could he escape? The terrifying power continued to destroy the other party. No, no, no. The other party panicked and screamed in terror. But it was useless. The poisonous chi was getting weaker and weaker. After a final scream, all of the poisonous chi was wiped out. The thin middle-aged man vanished into thin air. Umph. The sect master of the Desire Poison sect snorted, his face ugly. This brat's combat strength is indeed amazing. The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect said with a gloomy face. He had just broken through to the Saint Realm, but he was able to kill a peak bright sage expert. It was shocking. Who else wants to fight? Lu Ming's eyes were like lightning as he scanned the people of the three major sections. I'll kill you. An old man in a black robe stepped out from the Sky Universe Demon sect. With every step he took, his aura grew stronger. When he arrived in front of Lu Ming, his aura was earth-shattering and overwhelming. Peak Bright Sage Realm. This old man had reached the Peak Bright Sage Realm and was standing at the peak of the Bright Sage Realm. The next step would be the Great Sage Realm. Needless to say, his spiritual body was definitely a superior earth spiritual body. Since he was willing to fight, he must be very strong. Everyone's eyes fell on Lu Ming and the old man from the Sky Universe Demon sect. This old man was in the Peak Bright Sage Realm, and his combat strength was several times stronger than a Peak Bright Sage. Was Lu Ming a match for him? Lu Ming was only in the small success Bright Sage Realm. Could he cross so many realms and fight with a Peak Bright Sage Realm expert? Boom. The old man from the Sky Universe Demon sect was filled with demonic chi as a demonic saber appeared in his hand. 6 Killing Demonic Saber. The terrifying demonic saber burst out, crossing the space and slashing toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming held the black dragon spear and swept out. A huge spear light collided with the demonic saber. Boom. Heaven and earth roared. The spear light and the saber light collapsed at the same time. However, the demonic saber in the old man's hand slashed out again. This time he slashed out 6 times in a row. Each slash transformed into a huge demonic god that was tens of thousands of feet tall and charged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming put away the black dragon spear and used the chaotic flipping sky seal. With a wave of his hand, the chaotic flipping sky seals formed in the sky one after another. A total of 6 chaotic flipping sky seals were formed and pressed down on the 6 demonic gods. The demonic gods roared and a terrifying pressure filled the sky. It was as if a real demonic god had come to the world and wanted to kill all living things. The demonic gods punched the chaotic flipping sky seals continuously. Boom, boom, boom. The demonic chi was shocking. When the demonic fists hit the chaotic flipping sky seals, it was as if a drum was beating. In the end, the chaotic flipping sky seals exploded, but the 6 demonic gods also fell apart. Kill. The law of chaos flowed around Lu Ming. He was like a stream of light as he charged toward the old man from the Sky Universe Demon sect. 2 rays of sword light burst out from his eyes and rushed into the old man's body. The old man from the Sky Universe Demon sect screamed in pain. His eyes bulged and his aura was in chaos. Whoosh. Lu Ming instantly appeared beside the elder from the Heavenly Universe Demon sect. He struck with his palm, breaking through the other party's heavy defense and grabbing his throat. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. It was simply unbelievable. A great circle bright sage expert was defeated by Lu Ming so easily. It was unbelievable. How could Lu Ming be so strong? He was only at the lesser bright sage realm, but he could easily defeat a great circle bright sage expert. Lu Ming looked at the sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect coldly. He said, I have been patient with the Sky Universe Demon sect, but you guys are too much. Today kill. As soon as he said the word kill, a terrifying force burst out. The old man's body was torn apart and his soul was destroyed. His saint heart fell into Lu Ming's hands. From now on, he would no longer tolerate the Sky Universe Demon sect, nor would he have any misgivings. The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect said coldly. The sect masters of the Heavenly God sect and Poison Desire sect were the same. The 3 sects were silent. On the other hand, the Dragon God Valley was silent. Lu Ming was so young, but he could kill a great circle bright sage expert. He was like an invincible god of war. Was this really something that could be achieved by relying on Emperor Tsong's inheritance and treasures? Even Emperor Tsang was not as strong when he was young. This brat probably has a greater opportunity than Emperor Tsang's treasures. Chapter 17-18. The sect masters of the Heavenly God sect and Poison Desire sect nodded, the greed in their eyes growing stronger. Indeed, they had also thought of this point. Lu Ming's fortuitous encounter was most likely not just Emperor Tsang's. Otherwise he wouldn't be so strong. They had to get their hands on it. What should we do now? This brat's soul power is too strong. Normal people won't be able to block his soul attacks. The Sky Demon sect master frowned. Let me do it. At this moment, a white-robed elder stepped out from the Heavenly God sect. This elder was extremely old. His hair was almost all gone and the wrinkles on his face were piled up like a mountain. Elder Makong, I can rest assured with you going. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect was delighted. So it's Elder Makong. The sect masters of the Poison sect and Sky Universe Demon sect felt their eyes light up. Mo Kong was an extremely experienced saint, and his age was 2 or 3 times older than the other sect masters. He had already cultivated for over 100,000 years, but due to his limited talent, he had been stuck at the Bright Saint realm his entire life. However, they couldn't deny Makong's strength. After living for so long, who knew what methods he had? Moreover, one thing was for sure. After living for so long, his soul power had reached a shocking level. He didn't need to fear Lu Ming's soul attacks. Makong smiled faintly and stepped forward, arriving in front of Lu Ming. Brat, this old man won't show mercy when I attack. Why don't you obediently hand over Emperor Tsang's inheritance and treasures, and I'll spare your life. Makong spoke, his voice sounding very old. His turbid eyes looked at Lu Ming. Then let's see if you have the ability, Lu Ming said. He was highly focused and wouldn't let his guard down just because the other party was old. In truth, in the Saint realm, the older some people were, the more terrifying they were. Brat, your heart is higher than the heavens. Then this old man will temper your spirit. At this moment, Makong's turbid eyes were no longer turbid. Instead, they emitted a shocking light. His body emitted a dazzling holy light that was shocking to the extreme. Theurgy, holy light slice. A low voice came from Mo Kong's mouth. He waved his hand casually and endless holy light turned into extremely sharp ribbons. These ribbons were very long and they swept through the void. They seemed to suddenly appear around Lu Ming's body and enveloped Lu Ming within. Not good, it's a divine ability. Be careful. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master's expression changed drastically as he exclaimed. On the other hand, the sect master of the Heavenly God sect and the others were ecstatic. Mo Kong had actually cultivated a divine ability, as expected of an old monster who had lived for more than 100,000 years. It was difficult for a radiant saint to successfully cultivate a divine art unless one was a peerless genius. It was extremely difficult to cultivate, but its power was also extremely shocking. Those who had mastered the divine ability art could easily kill those of the same level who had yet to master the divine ability art. The terrifying ribbon of holy light enveloped Lu Ming. The edge of the ribbon was incomparably sharp, as if it could cut through everything. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed slightly. Several flashes of light lit up on his body, and 2 sacred artifact shields flew out, blocking the front and back. Clang! Clang! The holy light ribbons cut through the sacred artifact shields, and a shocking scene appeared. Scars appeared on the sacred artifact shields. If this continued, the sacred artifact shields would soon be cut apart. What a terrifying cutting power. Even sacred artifacts would be cut apart. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect and the others smiled. They had won. There was no doubt that Lu Ming would not be a match for the divine ability. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the Ice Dragon Valley Master paid close attention. If Lu Ming was in danger, they would do their best to save him. The others held their breaths as they stared at the battlefield. Haha, Lu Ming, this brat has no chance. Yin Zheng's eyes were filled with joy. Mo Kong's cultivation was at the great circle of the Radiant Saint realm, and he had mastered the divine ability. He was an unrivaled existence in the Radiant Saint realm, at least in the Tsang region. Divine abilities are indeed powerful. I wonder how much this old man has mastered. It shouldn't be too high. Lu Ming muttered, and his eyes were filled with battle intent. Chaos. A chaotic flipping sky seal appeared in Lu Ming's palm, and he smashed it toward the ribbons of holy light. Boom! The ribbons of holy light vibrated violently, and they cut the chaotic flipping sky seal even more fiercely. An ear-piercing sound rang out, and the chaotic flipping sky seal was cut into deep grooves. Finally, it exploded with a bang. Again, the chaotic flipping sky seal kept forming in Lu Ming's hand, and he blasted it toward the ribbons of holy light. Boom! Boom! The chaotic flipping sky seal kept colliding with the ribbons of holy light, and terrifying explosions rang out. "It's no use. You can't break my divine ability," Emokong said, but his eyes were solemn. He kept waving his hands, and the ribbons of holy light increased. The ribbons of holy light danced in the air, completely enveloping Lu Ming, like a cocoon. From the outside, one could see that some parts of the cocoon were bulging, as if something was about to rush out from it. There were continuous explosions coming from the cocoon. In the blink of an eye, a few minutes had passed, and the ribbons were still vibrating. "He's still resisting. This guy's combat strength is really amazing," the sect master of the Celestial God sect said. Even an overlord like him was shocked. "After we get this guy's secret, we must get rid of him. Otherwise, there will be endless trouble," the sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect said coldly. The sect masters of the other two sects nodded. Indeed, Lu Ming had such combat strength now. If he reached the Absolute Saint realm in the future, who in the Tsangzhou state would be able to defeat him? Divine ability is really mysterious and powerful. However, it's only 10% at most. Lu Ming's face was calm in the ribbons of holy light. He was just testing the waters. It was his first time fighting against a divine ability, so he naturally had to study it carefully. This was because he could also practice divine ability now. In the Chaos Scripture, there was a terrifying divine ability called the Chaos Calamity Finger, which could maximize the power of the Law of Chaos. In addition, there were also divine abilities in the Nine Dragons' memories. This was the direction of his cultivation in the future. "It's about time." There was a glint in Lu Ming's eyes. The two saint hearts in his dantian shone and spun wildly. The saint force in his body surged. The law of chaos flowed through his body. Lu Ming punched the ribbons of holy light, and a huge prison-suppressing steel appeared. Boom! The ribbons of holy light vibrated violently, and then exploded. In the blink of an eye, the ribbons of holy light were all destroyed, and Lu Ming's slender figure reappeared in front of everyone. "Impossible!" Emokong roared. He spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated. His eyes were filled with disbelief. His divine ability had been broken by Lu Ming. Chapter 17-19. Nothing is impossible. Kill. Lu Ming roared and displayed the divine sword art. Two sword lights pierced into Mokong's forehead, breaking his soul in his sea of consciousness. However, Mokong's body only trembled for a moment before he recovered. This old man's soul is really strong. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He displayed the wind thunder steps and rushed toward Mokong, striking out with his palm. Mokong roared and condensed a divine retribution spear in his hand, stabbing toward Lu Ming. However, when it collided with Lu Ming's palm, the divine retribution spear exploded. Lu Ming's palm did not stop. Mokong's expression changed drastically. He condensed the Dharma on his palm and blocked with his palm. Bang! Mokong's body was directly sent flying. One of his palms exploded and blood spurted out from his mouth. Kill! Lu Ming stepped into the air and charged toward Mokong. His eyes were as cold as a knife. Since he was an enemy, he would not show mercy because of his age. Divine power, holy light slash. Mokong once again unleashed his divine power. The holy light ribbon swept out, but it was once again smashed away by Lu Ming's palm. He continued to attack his opponent. Mokong frantically retreated, not daring to confront Lu Ming head-on. The entire place was silent. Lu Ming could even defeat a perfected bright sage expert who had mastered magical skills. Moreover, he chased after the other party until he did not dare to fight back. Such combat power was beyond everyone's imagination. The bright sage of Tsang State was invincible. With such combat strength, who else in Tsang State could fight against him? Enough! At this moment, A cold voice sounded. The celestial divinity sect master's face was cold. With a wave of his hand, a ray of saint power swept Mokong back to the celestial divinity sect's camp. Lu Ming also stopped in his tracks. He's defeated. Who else from the three sects wants to fight? Lu Ming asked. The experts from the three sects were silent. Even Mokong had been defeated. Who else could fight? The other sects might have old monsters who had lived for a long time, but their combat strength was at most on par with Mokong. Even if they wanted to fight, they would not be Lu Ming's opponent. For a moment, no one from the three sects wanted to fight. The scene was dead silent. Looks like you've admitted defeat. Since no one wants to fight, then according to the agreement, you all have to leave. Lu Ming said, staring at the leaders of the three major sections. What a joke. Why should we retreat? The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect sneered as a cold light flashed in his eyes. You all agreed to it yourself, and there are countless witnesses here. Are you all going back on your word? Lu Ming said coldly. We naturally won't go back on our words. But earlier, we agreed to bet the inheritance and treasures of the Azure Emperor. If we win, you have to hand over the inheritance and treasures. If you win, we will withdraw. However, this is only a bet regarding the inheritance and treasures. Now we suspect that you have other inheritances and treasures. Hand them over. The master of the Sky Universe Demon sect sneered. Despicable and shameless. You're just quibbling. The Cloud Dragon Valley master roared. Haha, so this is your face. As the leader of a sect, you are truly shameless to the extreme. Lu Ming laughed loudly. He really did not expect that the other party would be so shameless. Nonsense. Since you're here, don't go back. The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect snorted coldly. With a wave of his hand, a huge demonic claw grabbed at Lu Ming. A terrifying pressure pressed down on Lu Ming like a mountain. Break. Lu Ming roared and unleashed his full strength. He threw a punch at the void behind him. As though there was a force that broke through the void, Lu Ming's body retreated rapidly. Clang. Just then a sword light shot into the sky. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master attacked and slashed the demonic claw away. Let's attack together and take down Lu Ming. The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect shouted. Attack. At the same time, the sect masters of the Heavenly God sect and Poison sect attacked together and charged towards Lu Ming. Roar. A dragon roar rang out as the Valley Master of the Ice Dragon Valley stepped out and punched out. A huge ice dragon condensed and blocked the attacks of the sect masters of the Heavenly God sect and Poison sect. Swoosh. Just then, a beam of holy light shot out from the crowd of the Heavenly God sect. It was extremely bright and charged towards Lu Ming. An absolute saint. Another absolute saint. The Heavenly God sect had secretly sent another absolute saint. Scram. The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley shouted. His voice was like thunder as he slashed out with his battle sword. The terrifying sword light seemed to break through the void and slashed towards the absolute saint. This absolute saint was surrounded by holy light. He pointed his finger, and a terrifying holy light swept towards the Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley's sword light. Super power art, holy light cut. However, this absolute saint's super power was dozens of times stronger than Mo Kong's. There was no comparison at all. The holy light cut continuously cut down the Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley's sword light. Retreat. The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley shouted. He moved and appeared beside Lu Ming. His holy power wrapped around Lu Ming, and he quickly retreated towards the Dragon God Valley. The Valley Master of the Ice Dragon Valley followed closely behind. With their combat strength, the other party wouldn't be able to stop them if they wanted to retreat. The two of them retreated back into the protective array of the Dragon God Valley. Whoosh. Whoosh. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect, the sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect, and the other absolute saints appeared outside the protective array of the Dragon God Valley. Their auras were powerful, and they formed a terrifying gust of wind that kept hitting the protective array of the Dragon God Valley. Looks like the Dragon God Valley is going to protect Lu Ming until the end. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect said coldly. His eyes were shining with holy light. It was extremely shocking. What do you mean by shielding? Lu Ming is a disciple of the Divine Dragon Valley to begin with. The Divine Dragon Valley is obligated to protect him. On the other hand, the few major sects went back on their words and refused to admit defeat. The Valley Master of the Ice Dragon Valley said, "All right. In that case, let's destroy the Dragon God Valley. From now on, there will be no more Dragon God Valley in the Tsang state." The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect said. Although she was a woman, she was extremely domineering. "Everyone from the Sky Universe Demon sect, listen up. Form a formation and attack the Dragon God Valley." The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect gave the order first. "Everyone from the Desire Poison sect, form a formation and attack the Dragon God Valley." The sect master of the Desire Poison sect also gave the order. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect was surprised. He didn't expect the Sky Universe Demon sect and the Desire Poison sect to be so decisive. In the end, he also gave the order to attack. Kill. Kill. Tens of thousands of experts from the three sects stepped out. Their killing intent surged and terrifying energy burst out, forming a terrifying formation. Many experts from the Sky Universe Demon sect gathered, and formed a demon god with 3 heads and 6 arms. Each of its arms held a weapon. It was 100,000 feet tall, and was bigger than a mountain. It attacked the Dragon God Valley. Boom. The 100,000 feet tall demon god's aura was too terrifying. When the attack landed on the protective array of the Dragon God Valley, it shook violently. Chapter 17:20. As for the Heavenly Divinity sect, they formed a great formation, condensing a long spear that was tens of thousands of feet long. It was dazzling, even more resplendent than the sun in the sky. Whoosh! The long spear pierced through the air, causing ripples in the air as if it was going to be pierced through. Boom! The long spear pierced through the Divine Dragon Valley's sect protecting grand formation, causing the light barrier to cave in and almost collapse. Divine Dragon Valley, get into formation and prepare to face the enemy. The Ice Dragon Valley Master ordered. Figures flashed all over the Dragon God Valley. The disciples of the various valleys gathered together and set up a grand array. However, Yin Zheng led the people of the Silver Dragon Valley to hide at the back. "You want the Silver Dragon Valley to work for Lu Ming? Dream on." Yin Zheng sneered. He secretly instructed the Silver Dragon Valley's elders and disciples not to interfere in the battle later. All they needed to do was hide in the back. Boom, boom, boom. The Great Sect Protecting Formation kept shaking. The Great Sect Protecting Formation formed by the joint forces of the 3 great sects was too powerful. The Great Sect Protecting Formation of the Divine Dragon Valley could not withstand it for long. Damn it! Lu Ming clenched his fists as he looked at the 3 sects that were attacking the Divine Dragon Valley. If he could, he would rather hand over Emperor Tsang's storage ring to end this battle. However, it was obvious that this battle was unavoidable even if he handed over Emperor Tsang's storage ring, because the other party would want him to hand over Emperor Tsang's inheritance. They might even hand over other secrets to search his soul. A man's wealth is his own ruin by arousing the envy of others. It was all because he was too weak. If he had the strength to move unhindered in the Tsang region like Di Tsang, the Heavenly God sect and the other sects would not even dare to fart. They would only obediently crawl under his feet. Boom, boom. The Divine Dragon Valley's sect protecting grand formation shook more and more violently. Bam, bam. On some of the large snowy mountains in the Dragon God Valley, violent explosions rang out. That was because the formation foundation had suffered too much pressure and had exploded. Once some of the array foundations cracked, the power of the array would weaken even more. Crack, crack. Some parts of the formation began to shatter. More and more cracks began to appear on the surface of the protective formation. And eventually, with a loud bang, the formation completely exploded. Kill, kill. The elites of the 3 sects formed a formation and charged into the Divine Dragon Valley. The 4 absolute saints took the lead and charged in Lu Ming's direction. The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley and the Ice Dragon Valley flew into the air and faced the 4 absolute saints head-on. The 4 elites flew into the sky and engaged in a fierce battle. The other elites of the 3 sects formed a formation. The giant demon god, the toad and the spear charged towards the people of the Divine Dragon Valley. Roar! Roar! Dragon roars sounded in the Divine Dragon Valley. The experts of the 7 valleys of the dragon god formed a grand formation. Instantly, an ice dragon, a purple dragon, and a blood dragon appeared. A total of 5 gigantic true dragons soared into the sky and charged towards the gigantic demonic god. Only the Silver Dragon Valley remained at the back and did not attack. As for the Cloud Dragon Valley, because there were too few people, it was difficult for them to form such a huge array. Boom! Boom! A terrifying collision occurred between the two sides. The terrifying wind caused the ground to crack open. The ice valley at the outermost part of the Dragon God Valley was directly shattered in this collision. Countless cavern dwellings were destroyed in the great battle. Luckily, many of the weaker disciples had retreated to the depths of the Divine Dragon Valley. Junior brother Lu Ming, let's back off. Yang Tianzong and the others appeared beside Lu Ming and retreated. It was difficult for them to intervene in such a battle. Lu Ming retreated with Yang Tianzong and the others, his eyes glinting. He was considering if he should use the reincarnation halberd. There were only 2 forces in the reincarnation halberd. If he used one, he would have one less. It was very precious. Lu Ming didn't want to use it unless he had no other choice. But it seemed that he had to use it now. Formation rise! An elder shouted in the Divine Dragon Valley. He was a great St. Peak Realm elite, and he was in charge of the battle. The valleys and snowy mountains in the Divine Dragon Valley shone brightly. Wind and snow gathered and formed a dozen snow dragons. They charged towards the formation of the 3 sections. This was the home field advantage. There were many offensive formations in the Divine Dragon Valley, other than the sect protection formation. The offensive Grand Formation combined with the Grand Formation of the 5 Dragon Valleys of Dragon God Valley. For a moment, the 2 sides were locked in battle. But it was obvious that the Divine Dragon Valley was at a disadvantage. After all, the 3 sects were all elites. The formations of the 3 sects were extremely powerful. The Divine Dragon Valley was only a sect. Even though they had the home field advantage, they were still at a disadvantage. The true dragons formed by the formation kept retreating. In the sky, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the Ice Dragon Valley Master fought against the 4 Absolute Saints. They were also at a disadvantage. The situation was getting worse for the Divine Dragon Valley. The reincarnation halberd appeared in Lu Ming's hand. The 2 forces in the reincarnation halberd were precious, but he had to use them now. But then, an earth-shattering dragon roar came from the depths of the Divine Dragon Valley. This dragon roar pierced through the clouds and spread for hundreds of thousands of miles. It was like the roar of an ancient divine dragon, and it was extremely terrifying. Everyone from the 3 sects was shocked and looked towards the depths of the Divine Dragon Valley. Roar! Another dragon's roar rang out, and a massive true dragon charged out of the boundless Great Snow Mountain. Its body was snow-white and translucent, and it was 10,000 meters long. Its claws stepped on the air, and it instantly appeared on the battlefield. Ice Dragon Ancestor! It's Ice Dragon Ancestor! The disciples of the Divine Dragon Valley cheered. Lu Ming, Yang Tianzong, Tian Shui and the others were also dumbfounded. Legend had it that there was an ice dragon in the depths of the Divine Dragon Valley. It had lived for a long time and was the guardian beast of the Divine Dragon Valley. The snow in the Divine Dragon Valley was also because of this ice dragon. They didn't expect it to be true. Intruder, get lost! Ice Dragon Ancestor roared. His huge body became bigger again. He reached out his claw and grabbed at the huge demon god formed by the Sky Universe Demon Sect. Boom! The huge demon god was pushed back by the ice dragon's claw and a huge hole appeared in its chest. Then the divine dragon swung its tail, sweeping the huge spear away. The experts who formed the formation seemed to be under a terrifying pressure. Their faces were pale, and they almost coughed up blood. The ice dragon roared and spat out a terrifying cold current. It froze the laughing toad, and made the experts of the Desire Poison sect vomit blood. Ice Dragon Ancestor was too powerful. He suppressed the formation of the 3 sections. Then the ice dragon took another step and clawed at the toad. The toad exploded and the experts of the Desire Poison sect retreated. They were seriously injured. Retreat, retreat. The people of the Sky God sect and Sky Universe Demon sect retreated quickly. They didn't dare to fight. Chapter 17:21. Ice Dragon charged toward the Absolute Saints. Before it even reached them, 2 ice blades shot out of its horns and slashed toward the Celestial God Sect Master. That old ice dragon from Dragon God Valley is still alive. The Celestial God Sect Master yelled. His expression was grave. Saint Light spread out, and he slashed out 2 Saint Light swords to block the 2 ice blades. Even if you die, I won't die. Ice Dragon roared and approached quickly. Its claws reached toward the Celestial God Sect Master and the Sky Universe Demon Sect Master. Terrifying whistling sounds came from the sky. Wherever the dragon claws passed, the space seemed to be frozen. The Celestial God Sect Master and the Sky Universe Demon Sect Master didn't dare to be careless. They used their theurgies to fight against Ice Dragon, but the result was that they kept retreating. Their bodies were covered in a layer of ice, and they were almost frozen. Ice Dragon Kingdom. The ice on Ice Dragon Ancestor grew stronger and stronger. In the end, it seemed to have turned into a kingdom. Countless ice dragons appeared in the kingdom, roaring and pouncing toward the 2 Celestial God Sect Masters. The 2 Celestial God Sect Masters unleashed all their power, but they were still suppressed by Ice Dragon Ancestor. On the other side, the Poison Sect Master and the other Absolute Saint from the Celestial God Sect were no match for Cloud Dragon Valley Master and Ice Dragon Valley Master. They were at a disadvantage. In the sky, the Absolute Saints were fighting fiercely. After a dozen moves, the Celestial God Sect Master and the Sky Universe Demon Sect Master coughed up blood and retreated. They were injured by Ice Dragon Ancestor. Retreat! Retreat! The Celestial God Sect Master and the others yelled and started retreating. If the battle continued, it wouldn't be good for them. Valley Lord Cloud Dragon was able to fight against 2 Absolute Saints. Ice Dragon Ancestor was even stronger than Valley Lord Cloud Dragon. They were no match for him at all. If they kept fighting, they might die. They retreated as they fought. All the disciples and elders of the 3 sects retreated as well. Bang! Bang! Ice Dragon stepped in the sky and chased after the Celestial God Sect Master and the Sky Universe Demon Sect Master. With each step, terrifying ice crashed toward the 2 like meteors. Pooh! Pooh! The 2 tried their best to block it, but they still coughed up blood and turned pale. Dragon God Valley, you guys are going against the entire world. Let's see how long you can protect Lu Ming. The leader of the Sky Universe Demon Sect let out a long howl. Her hair was disheveled, and she looked like a crazy woman. A terrifying demonic light erupted from her body, and in the end, she continuously self-detonated. Several great saint weapons rushed out of Ancestor Ice Dragon's attack range, flying into the distance. The Celestial Divine Sect's Sect Master followed closely behind her, and the 2 of them disappeared into the distance in an instant. The other experts also flew away quickly. In the blink of an eye, they had disappeared from the area of influence. The overlords of the Dragon God Valley didn't give chase. It was best not to pursue a cornered enemy. If the other party went berserk and fought back desperately, they would also be injured. The disciples of the Divine Dragon Valley heaved a sigh of relief after the 3 major sects left. The Heavenly God Sect and the other 2 sects were extremely powerful among the many forces in the Tsang state. None of them were weaker than the Divine Dragon Valley. The Divine Dragon Valley was no match for the 3 sects together. This time, if not for the appearance of the legendary Ice Dragon Ancestor, they would truly be in danger. All disciples clean up the battlefield and defend. The Ice Dragon Valley Master ordered as he looked coldly at the people of the Silver Dragon Valley, who were hiding at the back. This Lu Ming is really lucky. He's fine. The Silver Dragon Valley Master did not see the Ice Dragon Valley Master's gaze. His gaze swept towards Lu Ming, and a cold light flashed continuously. Greetings, Ice Dragon Ancestor. At this time, the Ice Dragon Valley Master, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, and the others bowed to Ice Dragon Ancestor. Ice Dragon Ancestor twisted his body and turned into a burly old man. He waved his hand and said, "Forget it." Then he looked at Lu Ming and took a step forward. He appeared in front of Lu Ming and looked at Lu Ming curiously. Junior Lu Ming greets Ice Dragon Ancestor. Lu Ming bowed to Ice Dragon Ancestor. Haha, you're not bad. Come with me. After saying that, he didn't say anything and walked towards the snowy mountain in the depths of the Divine Dragon Valley. Lu Ming was stunned. Why was Ice Dragon Ancestor looking for him? Ming or go? The voice of the Cloud Dragon Valley Master sounded in Lu Ming's ears. Lu Ming nodded and followed Ice Dragon Ancestor. The two of them, one in front and one behind, headed towards the depths of the snowy mountain. In the depths of the Divine Dragon Valley, there were endless snowy mountains. The two of them crossed dozens of snowy mountains. Finally, Ice Dragon Ancestor stopped at a random snowy mountain. Lu Ming landed beside Ice Dragon Ancestor and did not speak. Your spirit body should be the 9 dragons' war body, right? Ice Dragon Ancestor said. The 9 dragons' war body was the Dragon God war body. That's right. The bloodline that I awakened back then was the 9 dragons' bloodline. Lu Ming nodded. The 9 dragons' bloodline should be able to evolve continuously and finally reach the superior heaven spirit body. I see that your body is strong and will evolve soon. I will give you 3 drops of blood essence to help you. After Ice Dragon Ancestor finished speaking, a jade bottle appeared in his hand and handed it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming subconsciously took it and opened it. He found that there were 3 drops of blood essence in the jade bottle. They were like bright blood diamonds, emitting a terrifying dragon aura. On the surface of the 3 drops of blood essence, there was even a small dragon flying around. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with shock because he felt the aura of a saint from the 3 drops of blood essence. These were 3 drops of blood essence of a saint true dragon. The essence of a true dragon's blood essence was definitely more powerful than that of the Dragon Valley. These 3 drops of blood essence were invaluable. Thank you, Senior, for your generous gift. Lu Ming sincerely thanked him. You're welcome. I got these 3 drops of blood essence by accident. They are of no use to me. You can use them. Well, take care of Xuanningsin in the future. Ice Dragon Ancestor said. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. It seemed that the relationship between Ice Dragon Ancestor and Xuanningsin was not simple. An ice dragon and a snow dragon. Ancestor. At this time, Lu Ming opened his mouth and a storage ring appeared in Lu Ming's hand. He said, Ancestor, today's battle is all because of me. This storage ring is the storage ring of Emperor Tsong. Now I'll give it to you. You can distribute it to everyone in the Dragon God Valley. This battle was all because of him, and Lu Ming felt that this matter would not end so easily. Lu Ming couldn't bear to implicate the entire Dragon God Valley. He couldn't open the storage ring of Emperor Tsong anyway, so he might as well contribute it to increase the strength of the Dragon God Valley. Emperor Tsong's ring? You can keep it. This is your own opportunity. My Divine Dragon Valley will not take away any disciple's opportunity. Taking away a disciple's opportunity is the same as taking away his potential. How can a peerless expert be born then? Ice Dragon Ancestor waved his hand and said, But there is Emperor Tsong's mark on this ring. I'm afraid even if I take action, I won't be able to break the mark on it in a short period of time. You can keep it first and rely on yourself to break it in the future. Since Ice Dragon Ancestor said so, Lu Ming did not say anything and kept the storage ring of Emperor Tsong. Go, little guy. I look forward to your growth. Ice Dragon Ancestor waved his hand. Chapter 1722. Lu Ming returned to the Cloud Dragon Valley and entered the mountain river diagram to cultivate in seclusion. He planned to refine the 3 drops of true dragon blood essence. Now the key was to continuously improve his strength. If Lu Ming's spirit body could evolve again, his strength would definitely skyrocket. Lu Ming sat cross-legged and took out a drop of true dragon blood essence. The powerful absolute saint aura on the blood essence pricked Lu Ming's skin. Devour. Lu Ming unleashed his devouring power and enveloped the drop of blood essence. He began to devour the spiritual essence in the blood essence and fuse it with his body. 3 days later, the drop of blood essence was completely refined. Lu Ming took out another drop. Just like that, 9 days later, the 3 drops of blood essence were completely refined. The energy fused with Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's accumulation had reached the limit. Roar. A dragon's roar shook the 9 heavens. Above Lu Ming's head, a huge 9 dragons appeared in the sky. They circled in the sky and constantly roared. At this moment, Lu Ming's body was emitting a bright light. His muscles were wriggling as if there were small dragons swimming in his body. Lu Ming's body was undergoing a transformation. His bones were constantly strengthening. They were hundreds or thousands of times harder than diamond. His muscles were full of elasticity. Once they exploded, they had an earth-shattering power. His blood was filled with a powerful life force that was incomparably vigorous. Lu Ming's body became stronger and stronger. It was like the body of a divine dragon. His every move was indestructible. After a while, the 9 dragons in the sky rushed into Lu Ming's body and disappeared. Lu Ming opened his eyes. I've successfully evolved. Mid-level heaven spiritual body. Lu Ming smiled. Mid-level heaven spiritual body. Moreover, Lu Ming's body had refined a trace of chaotic qi. The strength of his spirit body was actually not weaker than a superior level heaven spiritual body. The evolution of his spirit body caused Lu Ming's battle prowess to skyrocket. Now if he were to face an expert like Mo Kong again, he would be able to defeat his divine ability with a single move and beat him to death with a single punch. With a thought, Lu Ming walked out of the mountain and river diagram. After 10 days of seclusion, Lu Ming wanted to inquire about the current situation in Song Province. Sure enough, he found out an important piece of information after asking around. The 3 major sects, the Celestial God sect, the Heavenly Universe Demon sect, and the Poison Desire sect, announced to the world that they would be inviting the other forces in the Tsang state to a meeting at the Heavenly Universe Demon sect in a month's time. They would form an alliance to annihilate the Divine Dragon Valley and force Lu Ming to hand over Emperor Tsang's legacy and treasures. When this news came out, the entire Tsang state was shaken. All of a sudden, the winds and clouds in Tsang state changed. It felt like a storm was about to come. Some of the big and small forces in the Tsang state maintained a neutral attitude and watched from the sidelines. It was said that some forces had already begun their journey to the Sky Universe Demon Sect. Alliance. Lu Ming's gaze was very cold. What a ruthless method. They wanted to unite the many powerful forces in the Tsang state to destroy the Dragon God Valley. As for why they were at the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect, it was because the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect was the closest to the Dragon God Valley. Once they took action, they would be able to reach the Dragon God Valley quickly. In the Dragon God Valley, everyone was in a state of panic. Yinzheng even secretly sent people to sow discord. For a time, the Dragon God Valley was surging with emotions. The voices of people wanting to hand over Lu Ming became louder and louder. If not for the Ice Dragon Valley Master suppressing them, and the Ice Dragon Ancestor personally coming out, the situation would have been better. 1 month later, Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly, and then returned to his cave residence to continue his seclusion. It's time to cultivate the chaotic tribulation finger. Lu Ming planned to start cultivating the divine ability technique. Now his law of primal chaos had a corresponding divine ability technique that he could cultivate. However, there was no corresponding divine ability technique for the law of array Dao, so he could only look for it in the future. Lu Ming sat cross-legged under the Enlightenment ancient tree, and quietly comprehended the chaotic tribulation finger. The difficulty of cultivating the divine ability technique was shockingly high. This could be seen from the fact that most bright saints in the Tsang state had not succeeded in cultivating it. In the Tsang state, only great saint-level figures could successfully cultivate it. Moreover, the power of the divine ability technique differed greatly depending on the level of mastery. Previously, Mo Kong's divine ability technique had only reached 10% mastery. He had just started cultivating it. Of course, every 10% or even 5% mastery of the divine ability technique would have a huge difference in power. For example, 20% mastery would be several times stronger than 10% mastery. If one cultivated it to 100% mastery, the power would be earth-shattering. However, many absolute saints couldn't cultivate a single theurgy to full mastery. This was because cultivating a divine ability was also a process of comprehending the laws. Divine abilities and laws were complementary to each other. When cultivating a divine ability, it could increase one's comprehension of the laws. The stronger one's comprehension of the laws, the stronger the divine ability technique would be. Cultivating a divine ability could greatly increase one's comprehension of the laws. If one could cultivate a divine ability to 100% mastery, it would mean that one had comprehended the law to the pinnacle and completely grasped the law. This way, one could use a complete law as a foundation to evolve a small world and break through to the martial emperor realm. This showed how difficult it was to cultivate a divine ability to 100% mastery. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 days had passed. The day of the Heavenly God Sex Alliance was getting closer and closer. Sigh, I still haven't succeeded. Lu Ming sighed under the Enlightenment Ancient Tree. After cultivating for more than 20 days, he still had not succeeded in cultivating the Chaotic Calamity Finger. He had not even reached the entry level. The divine ability technique was indeed difficult to cultivate. Moreover, it was a divine ability technique that used the law of chaos as its foundation. It was even more difficult to cultivate. Of course, once it was cultivated successfully, its power would definitely be shocking. I'm still too impatient. The harder it is to succeed, the harder it is to succeed. I'd better relax. Lu Ming exhaled a mouthful of turbid air and came out of the mountain and river diagram. He planned to go out for a walk or give Xiang Xiang some pointers in her cultivation. Lu Ming strolled in the Cloud Dragon Valley. As the cold wind blew, Lu Ming's anxious mood slowly calmed down. However, at this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed. He took out a voice transmission jade talisman. At first glance, he saw that it was a message from Qiu Yingying. She sounded very anxious, as if something big had happened. Lu Ming took a step forward and walked toward the entrance of the Cloud Dragon Valley. Sure enough, at the entrance of the Cloud Dragon Valley, he saw Qiu Yingying anxiously pacing back and forth. Yingying, what happened? Lu Ming asked directly. Lu Ming, please save my brother. As soon as she saw Lu Ming, tears welled up in Qiu Yingying's eyes as if she was about to cry out. Brother Qiu, what's wrong? Lu Ming asked. My brother is now in the Sunset Mountains. He's being hunted down by Mo Yang of the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect. Qiu Yingying said anxiously. The Sunset Mountains? Hunted down by Mo Yang? Let's go. We'll talk as we go. Lu Ming waved his hand, and his saint power enveloped Qiu Yingying. He took her into the air and flew out of the Dragon God Valley. The Sunset Mountains were located between the Dragon God Valley and the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect. However, it was closer to the Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming flew toward the Sunset Mountains at top speed. Chapter 1723. It turned out that Qiu Hao had met and fallen in love with a female disciple from the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect. However, Mo Yang had found out about this for some reason. Mo Yang was so angry that he wanted to kill Qiu Hao and the female disciple. Qiu Hao and the female disciple from the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect reacted quickly. Qiu Hao took the other person and fled to Dragon God Valley, but they were chased by Mo Yang. Not long ago, they fled into the Sunset Mountains and sent a voice transmission to Qiu Yingying for help. With Qiu Yingying's status in Dragon God Valley, how could she find a strong master? Mo Yang was in the third stage of the Half-Saint Realm at the last treasure sorting convention, and he must have brought a master with him to chase after them. If she wanted to ask for help, she would have to at least ask for the help of a saint. Qiu Yingying could not ask for help from a saint, so she could only think of Lu Ming. In a panic, she went to find Lu Ming. Lu Ming's current speed was astonishing. Together with Qiu Yingying, he streaked across the sky like a beam of light and headed toward the Wuxia mountain range. Within a few hours, they were near the Wuxia mountain range. According to Qiu Yingying, her and Qiu Hao's parents had made life talismans for them since they were young. The two of them could sense each other's presence within a certain range with the life talismans. This was also so that the siblings could take care of each other when they were outside. At this moment, within a valley in the Sunset Mountain Range, Qiu Hao and a beautiful young woman held hands as they looked into the sky with extremely unsightly expressions. In the sky, three figures stood in the air, looking at the two of them with cold faces. The person in the lead was Mo Yang. Behind Mo Yang, there were two old men with strong auras and holy auras. They were two Saint Realm Masters. Senior brother Mo Yang, Qiu Hao and I are truly in love. Please let us go. The young woman begged. Shut up, you bitch. You usually reject so many of the demon sex brothers who are pursuing you. Instead, you chose to be with this trash from Dragon God Valley. You are simply courting death. Mo Yang scolded her coldly. Senior brother Mo Yang, when Xiao Hao and I met, there was no conflict between the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect and Dragon God Valley. The young woman explained. Shut up. You and Xian Yanqing are the same. Both of you should die. Mo Yang's face turned even colder, especially when Xian Yanqing was mentioned. His eyes were filled with raging flames, which contained both anger and evil flames. You are not allowed to insult the holy maiden, the young woman said. As expected, you are worthy of being Xian Yanqing's servant girl. The two of you are exactly the same. Today, I will make you beg for death. Mo Yang stepped down from the sky, and his powerful aura pressed down on Xiao Hao and Yi Futian. Xiao Hao's body trembled as he spat out a mouthful of blood. What a piece of trash. I really don't understand why a slut like you would fall for such a piece of trash. Mo Yang looked at Xiao Hao with disdain, then reached out his hand to grab Xiao Hao. Xiao Hao, run. The young woman pushed Xiao Hao away, then unleashed her demonic powers and blasted a palm at Mo Yang. However, the disparity between her and Mo Yang was too great. As such, her palm power was directly crushed by Mo Yang's demonic claws. Jiejia, Mo Yang let go of Jiejia. Xiao Hao roared, his eyes red as he charged at Mo Yang like a wild beast. Trash, you have a death wish. Mo Yang shouted coldly as his demonic aura converged and formed a demonic spear. It shot out like lightning and pierced Xiao Hao's chest, nailing him to the ground. Xiao Hao spat out a mouthful of blood. His cultivation was sealed by the demonic aura, and he could not move. Xiao Hao, the young woman called out softly. Slap. Mo Yang slapped the young woman in the face, and a palm print suddenly appeared on her face. The young woman's body struggled violently, and her curvaceous body kept twisting and turning. This situation made Mo Yang's eyes burn with passion. Rip. Mo Yang directly tore apart the young woman's clothes, revealing a large area of snow-white skin that was sparkling like jade. In particular, the pair of jade balls on her chest jumped out, causing some parts of Mo Yang's body to bulge. The demonic fire in his eyes burned even brighter as he stared at the young woman and said coldly, You bitch. As Xian Yanqing's servant girl, you actually look a little like her. Although you're not as beautiful as that bitch, I can still play with you. Haha. You bastard, let her go. Let her go. Xiao Hao yelled, his eyes filled with hatred. He wanted nothing more than to grind Mo Yang's bones to dust. Whoosh. 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 Mo Yang waved his hand, and beams of demonic light pierced through Xiao Hao's limbs and nailed him to the ground. He then said coldly, You piece of trash. How dare you seduce a disciple of my Sky Universe demon sect? Now, I'll let you watch as your beloved woman pleases me like a bitch. Ha. As Mo Yang spoke, he became even more excited. He stretched out his palm and touched the young woman. The two old men looked at all of this indifferently, as if they were already used to it. They were Mo Yang's confidants, and this was not the first time that Mo Yang had done something like this. Xiao Hao, we'll meet again in the next life. The young woman looked at Xiao Hao sadly, and tears continued to flow down her face like pearls from a broken necklace. Bitch, what are you doing? Mo Yang also sensed that something was wrong and roared, but it was already too late. A layer of green gas appeared on the young woman's face, and quickly spread throughout her body. In just a few breaths, the young woman's life force was completely extinguished. Bitch, you hid a poisonous pill in your mouth. Mo Yang roared. The young woman had already hidden a poisonous pill in her mouth. At the critical moment, she bit through the poisonous pill. It was a terrifying poison, and in an instant, the young woman's life force was extinguished. Mo Yang was very upset. He had finally gotten into the mood, but it had been interrupted just like that. He casually flung the young woman's body to the side. Jiejia. Xiao Hao roared, and his eyes were bloodshot. I'll leave this brat to you. Make him regret being born into this world. Mo Yang instructed an old man. Yes, young master. Don't worry, he'll soon become a dog. An old man smiled eerily and strode towards Xiao Hao. However, at this moment, a terrifying sound of something breaking through the air was heard. A black bolt of lightning shot towards the old man at an astonishing speed. The old man's body instinctively trembled, and he wanted to dodge, but it was too late. A black spear pierced through the old man's dantian, and the old man slid on the ground for thousands of meters, leaving a deep gully in the ground. The old man's eyes widened as he stared at the sky in front of him. There, two young figures were walking through the air. One of the young men had long hair that was fluttering in the wind, and his body exuded a murderous aura. It was so terrifying that it made people feel as if they had fallen into winter. Lu Ming. The old man spat out these two words with difficulty. Then his head tilted to the side and he died. The two young men and woman were naturally Lu Ming and Qiu Yingying. Big brother! Qiu Yingying exclaimed when she saw Qiu Hao's miserable state. Tears welled up in her eyes. Lu Ming, is that you? Chapter 1724. Lu Ming's eyes were very cold, and a shocking murderous intent erupted from his body. With just a glance at the scene, he could guess what was going on. Mo Yang, no one can save you today, Lu Ming said coldly as he stepped forward. Stop him for me. Mo Yang roared and rushed forward like a bolt of lightning. The other old man would not be so stupid as to stop Lu Ming. Back then, outside of Dragon God Valley, Lu Ming had shown his terrifying combat strength, and the bright saint was invincible. If he went up against him, he would only be courting death. He moved his body and ran in another direction. Lu Ming would definitely chase after Mo Yang first. In that case, he would be able to escape. None of you can escape, Lu Ming said coldly as he clenched his fist into the void. A terrifying devouring power burst out. As his spiritual body evolved, his devouring power became stronger. The devouring power shrouded Mo Yang and the old man at the same time. Their bodies were affected by a terrifying gravitational force. Not only were they unable to fly forward, but they were also forced to retreat. Ah, how can this be? Fly, fly. Mo Yang roared. He was so scared that his liver and guts were about to burst. He desperately wanted to fly forward, but his body was retreating faster and faster. The old man was the same. With his cultivation of the Saint Realm, he could not even fly out. He was extremely shocked. Soon, the two of them retreated to a place not far from Lu Ming. Spare me, spare me. I didn't do anything. It was all Mo Yang's doing. The Saint Realm old man roared as he betrayed the other old man. You! Mo Yang glared at the old man. Accomplices to the evildoer, jackals of the same tribe. Die. Lu Ming waved his hand, and the Saint Realm was like a blade. It directly split the old man in half and destroyed his soul at the same time. A lower-level bright Saint Realm saint had no power to fight back in the hands of Lu Ming. At this moment, Qiu Yingying had already pulled out the sharp blade that was condensed by devil chi from Qiu Hao's body. Qiu Hao crawled to the young woman's side and hugged the young woman's body as if he had lost his mind. This made Lu Ming's eyes even colder. Cold murderous intent shrouded Mo Yang, and a look of horror appeared in Mo Yang's eyes. Tell me, how do you want to die? Finally, Lu Ming's gaze fell on Mo Yang. Lu Ming, you can't kill me. There are many great powers in the Empyrean Devil Sect Alliance. If you kill me, not only will you die, but all your friends and family will die as well. Mo Yang roared. Whoosh. Lu Ming flicked his finger, and a burst of saint power blasted into Mo Yang's crotch, blowing his dick into smithereens. Mo Yang let out a shrill scream as tears and snot flowed down his face. Even now you're still threatening me? What a joke. Lu Ming said indifferently. Ah, Lu Ming, kill me if you can. Let me tell you, Xian Yanqing is also dead. You'll never get her. Do you really think she's in seclusion? Ha, you're too naive. Mo Yang laughed like a madman. He seemed to know that he couldn't live, so he simply threw caution to the wind. Lu Ming was shocked, and a terrifying light burst out from his eyes. He said, Tell me, what happened to Xiaoqing? What did you do to her? Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, I won't tell you. The next time you see her, she'll no longer be herself. She'll even kill you. Ha ha. Mo Yang laughed. Tell me what happened. Lu Ming's voice became even colder. He had a bad feeling in his heart. He had always felt that something was wrong with Xian Yanqing. The first time he went to the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect, he was hunted down on the way back. The second time he went, he didn't even see Xian Yanqing's face. Lu Ming, kill me. Kill me. I won't tell you. Mo Yang laughed, completely throwing caution to the wind. Do you think that I can't do anything if you don't tell me? As long as I search your soul, I'll know. Lu Ming said coldly. He then moved and appeared in front of Mo Yang. He stretched out his hand and sealed Mo Yang's cultivation. No, no. Mo Yang was finally afraid, and he struggled desperately. However, with his cultivation sealed, how could he struggle? Lu Ming stretched out his finger and pointed at Mo Yang's glabella. Mo Yang's body suddenly stiffened, as if he had lost his mind. Lu Ming operated a secret technique, and his soul power penetrated Mo Yang's soul, and began to search his soul. However, at that moment, a terrifying destructive power suddenly erupted near Mo Yang's soul. It wanted to destroy both Lu Ming and Mo Yang's soul. A seal has been placed on Mo Yang's soul. It seems that there is indeed a big secret. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Obviously, someone was afraid that Mo Yang's soul would be searched and the secret would be revealed. Therefore, a seal had been placed around Mo Yang's soul. Once Mo Yang's soul was searched, the seal would be activated and destroy his soul. Once his soul was destroyed, Mo Yang would become an idiot, and nothing would be found. It was very likely that the seal had been left behind by Mo Yang's master, the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect leader. Array Principle. Lu Ming growled and operated the law of Array Principle. Endless runes spread out and shrouded the destructive power, trying to seal it. However, the destructive power was very powerful, and it continued to destroy the runes that Lu Ming's law of Array Principle had turned into. If this continued, Lu Ming wouldn't be able to hold on for long. Bubble. Lu Ming called out, and the bubble appeared. He used the law of spacetime and penetrated Mo Yang's body, shrouding the destructive power and temporarily blocking it. I have to speed up. Lu Ming performed the soul-searching technique, and suddenly, vivid images appeared before Lu Ming's eyes. Suddenly, one of the images caught Lu Ming's attention. Lu Ming seemed to have transformed into Mo Yang's vision, as he followed a beautiful middle-aged woman down a passage. The beautiful middle-aged woman was the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect leader. After walking through the deep passage, they came to an underground cavern. In the underground cavern, there was a beautiful woman sitting cross-legged, motionless, and shrouded in demonic aura. Xiaoqing. Lu Ming was shocked. The beautiful woman was Xian Yanqing. Huff. In this underground cavern, there was a blood-red mist permeating the air. At this moment, the blood-red mist gathered together to form a huge face. It looked like a very old woman. Have you brought the materials? The huge face asked, her voice echoing in the underground cavern. Yes. The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon Sect took out a jade bottle, and several figures flew out from it. Lu Ming was shocked. Those figures were clearly the souls of Saint Stage powerhouses. The giant face opened its mouth and sucked in the souls, revealing an expression of enjoyment. Then, it opened its mouth and said in a sharp voice, "Not enough, still lacking a bit. Hurry up and find me more souls. Once I recover a certain amount of soul power, I can borrow this little girl's body to be reborn." Chapter 1725. The giant face let out a shrill laugh and kept twisting. It was very strange. Lu Ming could clearly feel that Mo Yang's body was trembling slightly, as if he was very afraid. Blood Demon King, don't forget what you promised me. The Sky Universe Demon King said. Don't worry, when the evil spirit sect rises again, there will be a way for you to step into the martial emperor realm. The giant face laughed. Rumble. A thunderous voice sounded in Lu Ming's mind. At this point, how could he not understand what was going on? There was actually an evil spirit sect king, hidden in the depths of the Sky Universe Demon Sect. She seemed to want to use Xian Yanqing's body to be reborn. In other words, she wanted to possess Xian Yanqing. Endless anger surged in Lu Ming's heart. Saying that Xian Yanqing was in seclusion was all bullshit. It was all a lie. Damn it. Lu Ming roared in his heart. He slowly forced himself to calm down, and continued watching. Next he saw several scenes in succession. Suddenly, many people who did not look like they were from the Sky Universe Demon Sect appeared in one of the scenes. The Intentionless Saber Sect. They are from the Intentionless Saber Sect. After taking a closer look, Lu Ming realized that these were actually from the Intentionless Saber Sect. The Intentionless Saber Sect was hidden in the Sky Universe Demon Sect. There was no doubt that the Sky Universe Demon Sect had also sided with the Evil Spirit Sect. TSK, TSK, TSK. At this point, the destructive power was getting more and more violent. It directly broke through the barrier of the array laws. Even the space-time laws could not stop it, and were slowly broken through. A wisp of Lu Ming's soul directly withdrew from Mo Yang's soul. Then the destructive power drowned Mo Yang's soul. Mo Yang hugged his head and screamed crazily. He seemed to be in extreme pain as he struggled wildly on the ground. After a while, Mo Yang stopped struggling and fainted. Obviously, Mo Yang's soul had been destroyed. Even if he woke up, he would be an idiot. Xiaoqing. Lu Ming clenched his fists, and a shocking murderous intent burst out from his eyes. According to the contents of the soul search, Xian Yinqing should still be fine. He should not have been possessed yet. But the situation was constantly changing and no one knew what would happen in the next moment. Every day that Xian Yinqing remained in the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect was another day of danger. He had to rescue Xian Yinqing. It seemed like he had to take a trip to the Sky Universe Devil Sect. His own cultivation was definitely not enough, but he had the reincarnation halberd, so he might have a chance. Taking a deep breath, Lu Ming calmed himself down and walked over to Qiu Yingying and Qiu Hao. Qiu Hao was still hugging the young woman's corpse as though he had lost his mind. Lu Ming let out a long sigh. Unfortunately, they were a step too late. Otherwise, such a thing would not have happened. Yingying, let's bring your big brother back to Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming said. Yes. Qiu Yingying nodded, and then she said softly, Big brother, let's return to Dragon God Valley first. Miss Jiejia has passed away, and we have to bury her in peace. That's right, Brother Qiu. You have to pull yourself together, Lu Ming said. Qiu Hao nodded in a daze. He carried the young woman's corpse and stood up. Although he had been severely injured, it was not fatal. His martial emperor spiritual body was powerful and had great recovery ability. He was able to move now. Thank you, Brother Lu. Qiu Hao glanced at Lu Ming, then carried the young woman's corpse and walked forward. None of you can leave. At that moment, a voice came from afar. Rumble. A terrifying sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. A silver light streaked across the sky and approached them at a terrifying speed. Before the sound had died down, the silver light had already arrived. The silver light dispersed and a figure appeared. Yinzheng. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed as he narrowed his eyes. The person who had come was the Silver Dragon Valley Master Yinzheng. Yinzheng, you're following me, Lu Ming said coldly. Humph, I've only sent someone to keep an eye on you, Yinzheng said coldly. He scanned the crowd and his gaze landed on Lu Ming. Lu Ming, hand over the succession and treasures of Monarch Song. Yinzheng, you're following me without my permission. Aren't you afraid that my master will find out that you're asking me to hand over the succession and treasures of Monarch Song? Lu Ming said. The Silver Dragon Valley Master let out a hollow laugh. Or are you going to kill us after I hand over the succession and treasures of Monarch Song? Lu Ming said. You don't have a choice today, Yinzheng said coldly. Is that so? I choose not to tell you, Lu Ming said. If you don't tell me, both of you will die. I'll torture these two in front of you so that they won't be able to die. If you don't tell me, I'll have to learn from you and search your soul, the Silver Dragon Valley Master said. Lu Ming's expression darkened. Yinzheng, as the Valley Master, how can you treat the disciples of Divine Dragon Valley like this? How despicable, Lu Ming said. Cut the crap. Hand it over, Yinzheng shouted. Greed flashed in his eyes. At that moment Lu Ming waved his hand. A white light flashed and took Qiu Yingying and Qiu Hao into the mountain river diagram. Then Lu Ming used the gale thunder steps and dashed out like a bolt of lightning. Don't think you can leave. There was a flash of silver light on Yinzheng's body. He flew out like a silver dragon, and caught up with Lu Ming in an instant. He threw a punch and a silver dragon flew out, pouncing toward Lu Ming. Its power was extremely terrifying. Buzz. On Lu Ming's shoulder, Bubble opened a space-time passage and Lu Ming stepped into it. The law of space-time? Break it. Silver Zheng was startled at first. Then, with a loud roar, he pushed out his palms with a force that could topple mountains and overturn seas. A huge silver dragon flew out, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. The dragon's claws grabbed the space-time tunnel. The space-time passageway emitted a terrifying vibration, and then exploded with a bang. Lu Ming had not traveled far when he was directly shaken out of the space-time passageway. Yin Zheng was too powerful. He was an elite even among the supreme saints. Bubble hadn't become a saint yet. Although the law of space was profound, it was too weak compared to Yin Zheng. Yin Zheng destroyed the space-time passage in an instant. Is this the legendary space-time spirit mouse? Lu Ming, you're really lucky. No, I should say that I'm the lucky one because everything will be mine soon. Yin Zheng laughed proudly. Master, Valley Master. Lu Ming suddenly looked behind Yin Zheng and bowed slightly. Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, do you think I'll fall for such a cheap trick? Yin Zheng sneered. Lu Ming wanted to distract him and escape. How was that possible? Now, hurry up and hand over Emperor Tsong's inheritance and treasures. Otherwise, you'll die miserably. You should know that whether you hand them over or not, you're going to die today. If you hand them over, I'll make sure you suffer less. Yin Zheng continued. I think you're the one who's going to die. A cold voice sounded. It didn't come from Lu Ming, but from behind Yin Zheng. Chapter 1726. Yin Zheng's body stiffened and his face turned pale. His eyes were filled with disbelief as he slowly turned around. Not far away, there were two old men looking at Yin Zheng coldly. Yin Zheng's face instantly turned pale. The two old men were Cloud Dragon Valley Master and Ice Dragon Valley Master. Yin Zheng, I'm disappointed in you. Ice Dragon Valley Master sighed. What's there to say to him? If I don't kill him today, there will be endless trouble. Cloud Dragon Valley Master no longer had a gentle smile on his face, but a cold murderous intent. Clang. The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley stepped out with a sword hum. A terrifying sword aura pressed down on Yin Zheng. Yin Zheng, what are you doing? Are you trying to kill me? I'm Silver Dragon Valley Master, and my status is on par with yours. You have no right to kill me. Yin Zheng shouted. Ridiculous. Cloud Dragon Valley Master's voice was cold as he slashed out with his sword. The vast sword aura made Yin Zheng's face turn pale. He gritted his teeth and charged towards Lu Ming, wanting to use Lu Ming as a hostage. However, the Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley would not let him have his way. He changed his sword stance and slashed at the spot between Yin Zheng and Lu Ming. The terrifying sword power sent Yin Zheng flying while Lu Ming was unscathed. Swoosh. Cloud Dragon Valley Master took a step forward and appeared in front of Lu Ming, slashing out with his sword again. Poof. Blood splattered everywhere, and Yin Zheng was almost slashed into two. A terrifying wound appeared on his body and he vomited blood. His face was filled with fear. Valley Master, save me. Save me. I'm Silver Dragon Valley Master, and I've done my best for Divine Dragon Valley. I've done so much for Divine Dragon Valley over the years. You can't just watch me get killed. Yin Zheng shouted and begged Ice Dragon Valley Master. Yin Zheng, all these years, I've never seen you do your best. You're too selfish and only care about yourself. Everything you do is for your disciples, your descendants, and yourself. You've even abused your power to steal the opportunities of other Valley's disciples. The other Valley Masters have already mentioned this to me many times. I've also given you many chances, but you don't repent. Ice Dragon Valley Master sighed. No, there's absolutely no such thing. Slander, pure slander. Yin Zheng shouted and quickly denied it. Slander? Then why did you ask the Silver Dragon Valley to hide at the back during the battle with the three sects? Ice Dragon Valley Master continued. It's not worth it. For a mere Lu Ming, an ant from a barren island, is it worth it? Is it worth it to fight to the death for him? Who does he think he is? My attitude has always been to hand him over to ease our relationship with the Heavenly God sect. Also, The reason why I asked Lu Ming to hand over Emperor Tsong's inheritance and treasures is also because of this. I didn't do it for myself. I wanted to give it to the other sects to appease their anger. Only then can we protect Dragon God Valley. Valley Master, everything I did was for Dragon God Valley. Heaven and earth can be my witness. Injung quibbled. He was just short of tears. He immediately cleared his name and claimed that everything he had done was for the sake of the Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming sneered. This old man was indeed more cunning than a fox. This? Ice Dragon Valley Master muttered. Seeing Ice Dragon Valley Master's hesitation, Silver Dragon Valley Master was overjoyed. He thought that there was hope and was about to say something. Poochie. A long sword pierced through his dantian from behind, shattering his saint heart into pieces. Injung let out a shrill cry and turned around crazily, looking at Cloud Dragon Valley Master in disbelief. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master had actually made a move and destroyed his saint heart with a single move. Once his saint heart was destroyed, he would be a cripple. Even if he didn't die, it would be worse than death. Injung's eyes almost popped out. He was extremely indignant. He had already persuaded Ice Dragon Valley Master, but he didn't expect Cloud Dragon Valley Master to act so unreasonably. So much nonsense. If I say I'll kill you, then I'll kill you. Cloud Dragon Valley Master said coldly. He waved his hand and a sword aura burst out. Injung's body turned into ashes under the sword chi. You actually believed his clumsy nonsense? Cloud Dragon Valley Master waved his hand, and the long sword flew back to his hand. He looked at Ice Dragon Valley Master unhappily. I don't believe his words. We've been brothers for so many years, so I can't bear to see him like this. Ice Dragon Valley Master laughed bitterly. Valley Master, why are you here? Lu Ming cupped his fist and asked curiously. Injung is so sneaky. He must be up to no good. Senior brother and I were about to go out. When we saw Injung going out, we followed him. We didn't expect him to have designs on you. He's really courting death. We didn't have a reason to kill him, but now we can kill him. Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. Lu Ming nodded and asked. Master, you said you were going out. What are you going to do? Aren't the Celestial God sect and the other sects forming an alliance with the Heavenly Universe Demon sect? We should go and join in the fun. We can't just sit around and wait for death. Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. Heavenly Universe Demon sect. Lu Ming raised his eyebrows and said, Master Valley Master, I searched Mo Yang's soul and found a big secret. Then Lu Ming told them about the Blood Demon King and the Intentionless Saber sect. What? The Heavenly Universe Demon sect has also sided with the Evil Spirit sect. They even hit a Guardian King and people from the Intentionless Saber sect. Ice Dragon Valley Master was shocked. Haha, that's great. We can use this to break their alliance. Cloud Dragon Valley Master's eyes lit up, and he laughed. Ming, you return to Dragon God Valley first. We'll set off for the Heavenly Universe Demon sect. Cloud Dragon Valley Master continued. Master, I want all of you to go together. Lu Ming said. No, it's too dangerous for you to go. The Heavenly Universe Demon sect is full of experts now. Once the battle starts, I won't be able to protect you. Cloud Dragon Valley Master waved his hand and refused. Master, I've obtained a treasure in the 100 Clan battlefield. It's enough to protect myself. Moreover, I have a plan. If it's carried out smoothly, it can break up the other party's alliance. Lu Ming said. He then explained his plan. Can you really protect yourself? Cloud Dragon Valley Master asked again. When he received an affirmative answer from Lu Ming, Cloud Dragon Valley Master nodded and said, All right, then we'll carry out your plan. Master, please wait for a while. I have to send Yingying and the others back to Dragon God Valley first. Lu Ming said. We'll bring you back with us. Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. Lu Ming nodded and then put Mo Yang into the mountain river diagram. Mo Yang would be indispensable in the future plan. As for the corpses of the two saints, Lu Ming burned them to ashes. Then Cloud Dragon Valley Master and Ice Dragon Valley Master took Lu Ming back to Dragon God Valley. After releasing Qiu Yingying and her sister, Cloud Dragon Valley Master and Ice Dragon Valley Master took Lu Ming back to the Heavenly Universe Demon sect. Master, Valley Master, it's just the three of us. I'm afraid we don't have enough manpower, Lu Ming said. Of course, the three of us aren't enough. There are others. I'll take you to see them later. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.